don't necessarily we don't necessarily lose the ability to love a woman the way they do when they sleep with so many guys. But is it just me, bro, or did your very first girlfriend you felt like an electric connection with because it was like the first time you're ever doing this? It was like this crazy fucking drug that you never felt ever again with any of your girlfriends after the first one. Was that just me, or did you feel the same thing?
Um,
I'm talking
a little
like
bit of that. Like for me, I would say like, do you mean like the first like serious girlfriend or my first one?
I'm talking about the very first one, like the first one you made out with, the first one you held her hand, the very like your first contact with a woman. That first time ever touching one was like a fucking like heroin. You know what I'm saying? Is that just me,
Uh,
or did you go through that too?
okay, so I did. I will admit
Okay.
this, and that was in fifth grade.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
um,
Exactly, exactly. But it was still the
I,
most
I was
incredible.
I was with the principal's daughter. Her
Nice.
name was Amelia,
Forget the names.
and
Forget all
the,
that. Forget all those
oh my
details and shit,
god,
though, bro. Forget all those details. I'm saying, wasn't that like the most intense experience you've had with a woman, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Now,
and it felt scandalous too because it was the principal's daughter. It wasn't perfect.
I know, but forget all those details. I'm saying, now imagine, right, if you two were both like 18 when that happened, right? And she was a virgin, okay? And then you felt all that magic with her, and then you married her and you had a family with her, and she was loyal to you forever, right? And that very first woman that you had that electric fucking connection with, that very first like pair bonding situation for both of you, which was so fucking electric because neither of you have been tainted by dealing with other people. Neither of you are jaded in any sort of way, mentally, physically, whatever. And then you two build a life with each other forever. Tell me that's not the
And
most.
don't say that. You make my heart hurt. You know what I mean?
I know,
Like
but
something like that.
tell me that's not the
Uh,
most. Tell me that's not the most powerful fucking thing in the world, right there.
no, that really
Right.
is. It would make life so simple.
I know it
I'd
would.
be able to come home to someone
I know.
who loved me and only
I
me,
know. I
and
know.
I would come home and love her and only her,
I
and
know.
fucking, then I could actually raise a
Yeah.
family unit
Right.
confidently.
Right.
We could instill good family
Right.
values. And we'd
Right.
help society in a way.
Right, and
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, damn.
that's the benefits of growing up in a strict society. That structure actually protects you and gives you it allows you to have those all of those magical, beautiful feelings wrapped up in stability, and that's what they're doing over there, to a degree. There's little bits of extremism and all kinds of shit, but there I've when I went to Dubai, bro, that was the first time I ever experienced jealousy because I saw I was walking through the shopping malls, man, and I saw hundreds and hundreds of beautifully, happily married couples with their 2 and 3 kids, and I could just see a sense of relaxation and contentment and, like, peace. I could see the men and women were both at peace in their marriages. I've never seen that in America. I see married couples in America all the time, but they look dead inside, you know? It was a whole different energy over there because that strict culture protected them and gave them that what I just told you, you said would have made you so happy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
and
because the society you came up in, because the society me and you came up in, meaning America, was so fucking loosey goosey, it wasn't tightly enough enforced for you to get that stable nuclear family you lusted for so bad and you craved so bad, you know, because you both have options, you can both stray away, there's no penalties, there's no consequences. And in reality, that looseness actually fucked both of you. It didn't help you. In the moment, it felt good that you can branch off and do whatever you want, but long term, it actually fucked you.
you're completely right. Like, and I'm really glad you worded it like that because that
Yeah.
was just kind of like legitimately eye opening.
Yeah.
Like when you said, "How did it feel?" And as a
Yes.
man, you're able when you think
Yes.
about how like an experience, you can feel now like
Yes.
any of the guys that are listening. If you take any experience, when you were at your happiest, when you are at your most content or your most angry or your most sad, you can bring those emotions back into you. And just saying something like that kind of really opened like my mind and shit. What we could have as a society if
Exactly.
people followed this line of thinking more.
Exactly. It's like, bro, being in America with all the loosey goosey free dating options we have, it's like the kid that's allowed to eat candy for dinner every night, right? So you have those kids in the Middle East, right? And I'm using sex as the candy, right? So in the Middle East, right, it's like no sex before marriage, right? So it's like you have to eat your broccoli every dinner, no candy ever. And then you have the kids in America where they can sleep around, whatever, and you can eat candy for dinner every night, right? So it's like that kid grows up in America eating candy every night and he ends up weak. His teeth are falling out. He's fucking in horrible condition, right? And that's basically a metaphor for sleeping around. No one really can bond with each other. The fucking no fault divorce, all that shit is like the kid who grows up eating candy, weak as fuck. And then you got the kid in the Middle East who is like the guy who grew up in the society where no sex before marriage. They commit to each other. He's been eating broccoli his whole life, and yeah, it tastes like shit, but it fucking paid off because that guy grew up to be strong and healthy. And that's the metaphor for he was a virgin, his wife was a virgin. They both felt amazing connection. They married each other. They were together forever. They had the happy family. So like he had to suffer all the way up until that point by not getting sex, which is like eating broccoli, but it was so much more fucking worth it in the end. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like I'd be like completely okay with some system like that in America as long as we still had the personal freedom to choose what woman we wanted,
Yeah,
and there's actual kind of like traditional dating. Like you had to chase her, and
you
but the
do.
way you chased her was like traditional dating where you got to meet the mom and the
You do.
and the
You
dad,
do.
and you got to work for
Oh,
her. You
you
know what I
do.
mean? Like I feel like that would be
You do.
the
Yeah.
most free
Over
and the
there.
best way to do
Over there,
dating.
you have to do all that shit. Like, bro, if I go over to the Middle East and I get a virgin, I have to meet her fucking parents. I'm gonna have to win them over and do all that shit. But guess what? I fucking want to. I would love to do that shit because when you get the father's blessing, and a YouTuber by the name of M Krafts talks about this. I don't know if you know who M Krafts is. He's not
Nope.
necessarily a MGTOW, but he has very similar videos. He talks about how when a daughter knows that her husband has the blessing of her father, it triggers some sort of hormone in her that makes her bond to her husband even more. That's some really deep shit. So, so you're not getting the father's blessing in America because no one gives a fuck. And not to mention, bro, I told you about that whole not eating your broccoli thing in the Middle East, but guess what? One thing I forgot to tell you, they still have whorehouses. You can still pay to go fuck prostitutes. So if you really, really want to keep a little bit of that American looseness, you can still go to whorehouses and still go get that like virgin girl or whatever. So you kind of can have the best of both worlds to a degree, if you really, really want it your way, perfectly. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, man. Like this.
But it really didn't hit
Uh,
you. You really
it would
didn't
have helped me.
understand.
Like it would have just solved so much heartbreak. You know what I mean? To have
Exactly.
a system like that.
Exactly.
You
You
know
would
what I
have
mean?
been
So much
yeah.
heartbreak and so many mental, emotional problems and
Yep.
trust issues and everything up and down the line. Like the problems that people have with relationships could be
Yep.
fixed if we lived in a just society like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And the fact that we don't, like I said, it really fucking, it actually, that shit kind of
Enrages you to a
rocked me
degree.
to my core when I
Yes.
fucking just thought about it. The way
Yeah.
that you put
And
it,
you
like
never
goddamn, like
yes, and you
if I
never
was
understood
able
it.
to have that electric feeling with one
Yes.
person
Yes.
for my entire life,
Right.
like I never really thought of it
Yeah,
just
you
like
you
that
you
because
never understood it until I made you feel it. And then you finally understood what I'm talking about.
yeah, it's true.
And
It's
now
truly
you
true.
can feel how fucked your upbringing really was and how much you've been robbed of.
Yeah, and robbed by society that's
Yeah.
claiming just to do the good thing.
Yes. And now you see
Like I
now you see how so many Americans never had a chance and how American whores never had a fucking chance at a successful, happy nuclear family.
So basically, my only hope for something successful is to find like a virgin woman at like 18. Now that I'm over the age of 18, and fucking making sure that I fucking like I would have to go through like all the traditional fucking
Yeah, but
steps,
here's the
and she would
problem,
have.
bro. Here's the problem.
That's like impossible to find,
Not
though.
only is it impossible to find in this country, you still have to have a system where the law is on your side. See, over there in the Middle East, bro, they have Sharia law, which protects the man in the event of a divorce. Whereas here, the woman can be that virgin. She can be all of those things. You can jump through hoops. You can get her parents' approval to marry her. But guess what? She still lives in a feminist, no fault, divorced, gynocentric society where the laws are on her side. And if she changes her mind at any minute and decides to become a feminist whore, she's empowered and motivated to do so.
Yeah.
So even if you find that one in a
I'm
million,
just fucked all the way around.
yeah, exactly. Anyone, and me too, if I stay here.
Now, I just really like the way that you fucking put that. Like that's something that's gonna stay with me for the rest of my life. Like
I know.
If I could have that feeling like I did back then with one woman and actually have the law on my side and fucking have an upbringing like that
and have her forever.
Sure, I want to be able to fucking go out and experiment and do shit with girls and shit, but I would actually be happy right now at 18. I would have I'd have a support unit, which I don't have right now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's all just because of fucking, that's a select few men starting feminism and fucking degrading our society down.
Exactly. And for what? For fucking green slips of paper?
I think honestly that they just wanted more women in the workforce because the more people that are working, the more your country produces. So it doesn't look after, people on an individual scale. But if you have men and women working full-time jobs now your country's producing double the amount of wealth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now you have people working in all sorts of jobs in all sorts of sectors. And even if women work less, they're still contributing to the economy in some way by actually trading their time for money, which is the most important resource you have is your fucking time on this planet.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So then the people at the fucking, tippy top can sit back while now they have more workers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's honestly, like, the more I look into the shit, that's how I fucking feel. It's just that they wanted a bigger workforce in America.
Yeah. And the tragedy, bro, about this country is that no matter how much financial success you achieve or whatever success you achieve in this country, you're never going to have that solid. You're never going to have that family unit the way I just described it to you that hit you so hard. So really, any amount of success in this country is kind of worthless, is it not? Because at the end of the day, I know you would give all the money in the world and all the success in the world to have what I just described to you. I know you, and I long for that too, bro. Believe me, I long for that shit too. So what's the point?
God damn it. You're making this pill even harder to swallow.
Oh, bro, you thought, let me tell you something, man. You thought you thought you knew about the red pill. I just gave you the 360-degree view. You were just viewing the first 180 degrees. I just gave you the full fucking circle, from across the world in the Middle East. you just swallowed. That was the American red pill, bro. I just gave you the Middle Eastern red pill also, man. But yeah,
Jesus, so your guys' shit is strong. It's like a 100 to a 300 milligram.
Exactly, man.
Medication.
Exactly. And the thing is, bro, like, you can become the next Elon Musk or whatever, but what's the point if you don't have that loving, happy family that you crave so deep down, like I do? What's the fucking point in being a millionaire?
Like, I really don't want to come across as like a hopeless romantic and shit like that. But that's something that I always have like secretly wished for.
Me too, man.
As much as I've like experimented and shit like that, and as much as a lot of girls that I know or that I've been with would call me a player and shit, like, I don't want to be the way I am, but the way that
you're forced to.
not only the laws and shit are set up, but the way society's set up. I can't be who I want to be because of
Yeah.
the way shit is set up in front of me. And I feel like that's fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like really on even as deeply as a spiritual level, that's fucking heartbreaking, man.
It is. Bro, there were times, man, like guys tell me like, "Bro, Kurama, man, you must feel like such a fucking pimp because like you know how to fuck all these women on Tinder and shit." Bro, there are times, man, where I would have women leaving my house from Tinder after I just finished having sex with them, and they're attractive women and they're leaving my house, and I literally wanna throw up. Like, that whole experience, that whole unnatural occurrence of, "Hey, do you wanna come over? Yeah, okay." Like, a woman I just met 30 seconds ago is already in my house, and I'm fucking her, and then she leaves, and we never see each other again, and I literally just wanna run to the bathroom and puke because I'm like, "This is so fucking dysfunctional." Especially me coming
It's
from where I come from.
unnatural.
Unnatural, yeah, unnatural, like and especially someone like me, bro, I know the whole truth. I know how it's supposed to be. I have, Middle Eastern family members that are in happy, successful marriages for 20, 30 years. You know, I know what it can be. And to see that we're like wasting our potential like this, it's like it gives me like fucking stomach ulcers, bro. It like burns me. American people, it burns them too, but they don't know any better, so they don't suffer as much, but with what I just told you, you now know what you're truly missing. But I knew this my whole
Yeah,
life. I knew this my whole life, so it burned me way more doing this pump and dump shit and just being around this American society. You know what I'm saying? Like, it burned me way fucking more. But now you finally see what the fuck I've been seeing, you know?
and that's the thing. Like, I actually felt that shit like in my heart. Like
Yeah,
when you said that shit, like it was something that like really deeply moved me.
yeah.
I don't know if it moved chat too much because
They
I
didn't
don't know if
catch it.
they're actually
I'm looking at the messages, they didn't even catch what I they didn't even hit it didn't hit them. They don't even know.
because that's a really shitty part. You know what I mean? As like 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 if they were to put themselves in that exact same situation, that's
Yep.
life changing.
Yes.
Like legit, that is life changing right there. For someone to say, like, did you get that electric feeling with the first woman that
Yes.
you did anything with? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now imagine you being able to spend your life with the person that you had that electric connection with,
Yes.
and them loving you, and having a functional family, and fucking being able to bear children with them and actually have a good society where the law is on your side. Just imagine having that. And it was like all like fucking, like the pearly gates opened up and then they were just like
Yes.
slammed back in your face as
Yep.
you come back to like reality
Yes.
and shit.
Oh, I know your pain, man, believe me. I know this. And the sad thing, bro, I never felt that